solve the equation by completing the square. Now, when we can't factor, alright, so you go back to some early videos, this is chapter 5, factoring, there's other ways of solving these quadratics. One's completing the square, the other's by the quadratic equation formula, which is the next part. So completing the square, let's have a look at what we did when we just completed the square. Okay, so here we go. I look at this, and first of all, are there any two numbers that make 15 when you multiply that make 10 when you add? Remember, just go back to basic factoring. No. Okay, so can't do it. Completing the square, right. X squared plus 10x. Now, what I do, there's different ways of doing it. The book might do something different. I put the 15, okay, I put it on the other side of the equal sign, okay? So in other words, if I take away 15 from both sides, I'll end up with negative 15. Right, so there's just the setup. I've just moved the number onto the other side. Now, if you notice, this is what we did for completing the square in the previous video. Remember, you look at the 10, okay, which was the middle term in the original, okay? Remember, what's half of that? It's 5. Squared, it's 25. So to complete the square, I would add a 25. Now, because I've done that to the left, I've got to balance it by doing it to the right, okay? So I've stuck 25 on both sides of the equation. Now, this bit here, this is the bit where we complete the square. Remember this? X squared plus 10x plus 25 as a single parenthesis all squared is just x plus, keep the sign, half the 10, 5, okay? So I've just halved that middle term, okay? Half of 10 is 5, plus, because it's got the plus before it. Over here, this will equal, right, what's negative 15 plus 25? That's 10, okay? Now, you are back, and maybe I'll just scroll all the way back up this page, you're back, look at this, I'm going to scroll up to, let's say, this, okay? There, you're back to doing that again, so you can just go back and look at the previous videos. But let's finish it off. So where is it? Right, completing the square. So I can now square root both sides. The square root of x plus 5 squared is just an x plus 5. That's what's nice about this left-hand side, okay? I've square rooted it. But what's the square root of 10? All you can write, remember plus and minus, right, is just the square root of 10. You can't do anything with that one. You can't split it up into two things, one of which you can square root. 2 times 5, no, that's fine. Now remember, I'm just going to subtract a 5 from both sides to get to the x, and all I can do is just write this. Negative 5 plus or minus root 10. I mean, if you needed some whole numbers, if you're plotting something, you can put it in your calculator, but that's the answer, okay? X equals minus 5 plus or minus root 10, and that's it. Maybe I'll look at another one. Let me just erase this and make sure you've kind of got that. I'm going to erase this now. And maybe I'll look at, say, question 13. Right, question 13. Where's my pen? Again, so I'll just scroll here. So I'll just keep this on one side, and I'll take away the 20. Okay, just get it out of the way. So, x squared minus 8x. Leave a space to complete the square. You can do it right now if you want to, but there's going to be a negative 20 on the other side. Okay, so what is half of 8 squared? Right, so that'll give you, so it's plus 16. Half of 8 is 4. When you square it, you get 16. This means, oh, don't forget to add 16 to this side as well. Nearly forgot. That's an easy mistake. Okay, half of 8 squared, 16. Remember, this means, as a single parenthesis, this is x, half of negative 8, negative 4, right, squared. And like I say, if you were to FOIL that, x minus 4 times x minus 4 is x squared minus 8x plus 16 above. This now equals, though, and look at this, this is negative 4, right? Anybody see an I coming into the answer? Right, when you square root the left, this is the easy bit, it's just x minus 4. So I've square rooted an x minus 4 squared. Square root of negative 4, plus or minus, don't forget that, 2i. Alright, so negative. I'm going to add a 4 to both sides. So x equals, if I add a 4 over to the right, all I do is write 4 plus or minus 2i. I can't literally add the 4 to a 2i, or I can't add a 4 to a 2 root 5, alright? Keep them separate. So that's the answer, 4 plus or minus 2i, okay? And that is you completing the square techniques.